My coverage of Computex 2024 is brought to you by Antec, Thermaltake, Asus, and Fractal. What's up guys, it's still day one as of the filming of this video, and the Computex show floor is more crowded than I have ever seen it at this point in the show. But I wanted to stop by MSI, that's where I'm at now. I gave them one rule. MSI, no AI allowed. We're doing the non-AI MSI booth tour. You know what doesn't have AI plastered all over it? Next-gen motherboards, and MSI has a few of them on display here today. We have Intel motherboards we're going to start with first because these haven't even really been announced. I'm going to show you a new AMD board in a while too, but this is Intel's new LGA 1851 socket. Now, there's a lot of unknowns still for Intel's new platform. We're hoping it's competitive with AMD because both of those companies need to keep each other honest. So other than a quick look at some of the design features, and this is a MSI Project Zero board that we have up here, and we have a non-Project Zero board down here for people who aren't afraid of motherboard cables. A couple quality of life features for builders for these boards that I really like that have been added. One is we have an easily removable M.2 slot right here. So basically you just sort of bump it to the side and it pops the M.2 drive up, snap it back down and it snaps into place. Pretty easy, pretty simple to work with. I like a quick release M.2 slot. MSI has also finally joined the crew and now has a quick release for the top PCI Express slot as well. This slot is frequently blocked by large air coolers or large GPUs. But MSI said, you know what, since Asus and Gigabyte have this already, let's make ours a little bit better. First off, it's a push button that pushes down and then pushes again, goes up and down. You can see the latch release mechanism over here working when you push that. But they also put a visual indicator up here on top so you can easily look and tell if it's locked or unlocked if you're not familiar with the button orientation quite yet. So I like that, it's a good implementation. And again, one of those really nice quality of life features for builders, especially if you need to remove a graphics card for any reason. Next up on this motherboard, we have Cam2, or LP Cam2. This is just Cam2, it doesn't need to be low power because this, although it's originally designed for notebook use, MSI said, you know what, the trace layouts are much better with this standard versus some of the other standards that have been around for quite some time. So we were told this should support higher memory clock speeds, as well as better memory overclocking. This is again just a prototype that they're putting together, and of course this would be a complete changeover in terms of the types of DIMMs people are using. It wouldn't even be a DIMM anymore. It's an LP cam, compression attached memory module. Apart from the benefits of potentially higher memory clock speeds, it also has a compression mechanism, how it interfaces with the board, and the actual pin connector is replaceable. So if you bend those pins, because they are very small and delicate, it is swappable. So that means if you accidentally mess up while installing a cam memory module, you can replace that panel and still have a functional motherboard. Next up we have a graphics card. I mean, we don't have a graphics card because at shows like this where units are getting manhandled a lot, sometimes they break, and this one did happen to break. They're repairing it right now, but I did get some footage of it earlier, which is very nice. This is the M.2 Xpander Aero Slider Gen 5. By taking advantage of the additional bandwidth that PCI Express Gen 5 provides, which you're going to have with the next-gen Intel processors, you already have with the current-gen Intel processors, you have 8 lanes for the GPU with this card, and then you have 8 lanes left over, 4 and 4 for 2 more M.2 slots. Because GPUs don't use up all the PCI Express bandwidth that's available, sometimes maybe you're wasting some bandwidth when you plug a graphics card into a full by 16 slot. This is going to provide you with a couple more M.2 expansion slots so you can add more storage. They come with heat sinks attached, and they'll be accessible from the back of the case, which means you're not going to have to open up your case if you're adding another M.2 or if you need to swap one out. This is again a feature that we have seen before. Asus, I think, was the first to added an M.2 drive to a graphics card. But you gotta like that competition with MSI deciding we're gonna do not just 1, but 2, and we're also gonna make them swappable. One last first look at the Intel LGA 1851 motherboard. This is the first one I've actually seen. So Intel, you got a lot of ground to make up. The processors that go into these motherboards better kick ass. Impress us later this year. All right, let's look at AMD now. All right, guys, I promised you some coverage of X870, the newly announced, not platform, but upgraded chipsets from AMD. And this is going to have some nice little upgrades like USB 4.0 support. So these, of course, are going to support AMD's new Ryzen 9000 series processors, which are launching in July. We have just learned at the beginning of Computex. MSI has 2 models on offer here, the MAG X870 Tomahawk Wi-Fi on the left, and the Pro X870-P Wi-Fi here on the right. These are going to have the same quality of life improvements that I just showed you on those Intel boards, such as the quick release M.2 connectors here. You can see two of those right there. Again, you just bump them to the side to release and snap the M.2 card back in. These are slightly more entry-level boards from MSI, so the X870-P Wi-Fi does not have a quick release for the PCI Express slot, but the Tomahawk over here does. It's just in black trim instead of the white and silver that we saw with the Intel board. MSI said these boards should be available and ready to go when the 9000 series launches in about a month or so, but they are working on higher-end motherboards as well. Since the Pro is going to be a little bit more entry-level, Tomahawk's going to be a step up from there, and then as the year progresses, they're going to launch their higher-end motherboards. One other addition that MSI said they're doing across their entire product stack for this generation and the next generation of Intel motherboards too, is all of their MAG, MEG, and the one above that, I forget what the one above that is. If you're getting a board that has that MAG or the MEG in front of it, it's going to have a debug LED. And you might be like, well, motherboards used to have debug LEDs all the time, and then they took them away. Now they're giving them back to us? What the hell? And you know, you're right about that, but at least we're going to have more debug LEDs because it's a really nice feature, especially if you built a system and it's not functioning right out of the gate. Not too much more to say about these. We're going to be testing some of these soon, I imagine. I don't know what they're going to be sending out with AMD press kits, but let's take a look. What else could we look at from MSI that's not AI related? How about graphics cards? Look, I found the graphics cards. There haven't been many graphics cards announcements. Actually, there have been pretty much no graphics cards announcements at the show so far, which means the only thing you can do is try to make the existing graphics cards better. And that is what MSI has purportedly done with their new version of the RTX 4090. It's called the GeForce RTX 4090 24G Suprim Fuzion. They have one that's installed in a case right over here. We have an exploded view that shows the microfin copper base and a low profile pump because it's got a pump integrated. It's like water cooling in a graphics card that looks like an air-cooled card that doesn't have like a separate breakout radiator with tubes and stuff. Kind of cool, kind of cool. Of course, it is very big. How many slots is this card? Let's count the screws. I'm gonna count the screws. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a 5-slot GPU. It might even be bigger than that. I don't know. It looks like it's about 5. Definitely the kickstand is absolutely required for this one. I appreciate that they did a little demonstration of some of the internals here. You can see the pump, which is going to cycle your liquid through the radiator right there, which is sort of a 2-tier radiator. So, you know, if you got a case with enough room, and I guess if you got the cash, because I have no idea how much this is going to cost, probably $2 plus, the GeForce RTX 4090 24G Suprim Fuzion should be available soon. Let's finish off over here with these very unique looking graphics cards, and this one was actually signed, well, the outside of the box was signed by Jensen Huang, who did a little tour here earlier in the day. These are just some really cool custom designs. These aren't for sale or anything. These are made specially for the show. They have dragons on them because if you're not aware, MSI, they have kind of a dragon theme going. Probably not going to be the best in terms of like airflow and stuff since you have a dragon blocking half of your air intake there and everything, but you know, we can spin it around here to take a look at the 4090 there on the other side, which has sort of a green finish on it. Cool looking cards. Should we count the slots on this one? That one's probably also 5+ slots. You'll need a specialty case for that. But since you only really get to see specialty pieces like this at shows, I thought I'd show them off to you guys and get a closer look. But wait. Oh man, these are AI generated. These are, I broke my rule. I'm sorry. All right, what a horrible foul. I attempted to make an AI-less video at Computex, and I was tricked into showing you AI-generated shrouds for graphics cards. I've disappointed in myself. I know, I'm sorry you guys. But you know what, I have more Computex videos coming at you real soon, so if you've missed any of them, check the playlist down in the video's description, subscribe to my channel to see all my videos, hit the thumbs up button, that's always helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you to my sponsors for Computex 2024, Asus, Antec, Fractal, and Thermaltake. We'll see you guys in the next video.